Hello again.
You have an alternative way into the building?
Alternative? I don't even have a mainstream way in, I'm afraid, although there's a sewage pipe there. Maybe that does something? Sorry, I can't help more.
Any advice on how to climb the ladder?
How to climb that ladder, you say? I do know that Lomantangs used sticks to climb battlements. There's even a special technique for that.
Oh. Alright, can you teach me? Do you have any sticks with you?
No, I'm just speculating theoretically here. Of course, there's also the method ancient Ilmarans used to get into the huts of their enemies.
Okay, wicked cool, tell me.
If I'm not mistaken, then it involved months of following a very rigid exercise regimen. No, years.
Don't have years.
In this case, I suggest looking into the Zeolite Invisibles class. The word refers to their remarkable ability to traverse any environment in the most efficient way possible. There's this excellent investigative piece of journalism by...
I don't have time to read papers. Any practical advice?
Yes, I have. There was this one time where I...
Yeah?
Oh no. You've made El Bigo Mistako. He's going to go on forever. Mark my words. All of this somehow ties into the history of Occidental financial markets.
Mm-hmm. Alright, we're done. Well, sewage pipe. I thought that was it. But nothing's happening. There's nothing around here either.
Winter, slow to let go of Revachol. Flecks some more wet snow from above.
Look around.
The snow falls lazily, making the beach sand paler still, mixing with the rust-colored sewage runoff. And to think, it seemed as though it were already spring.
How does it feel?
The melting snow seeps through your thin clothes. Grandmothers don't let their grandchildren out dressed so lightly in this weather. At least your hair is protected from getting wet and sticking together. You look around.
To the west?
More winding coastlines lined with abandoned buildings. Crumbling piers, salt water lapping at their dark piles. Grey and red forgotten city blocks. What remains of the pre-revolutionary effort to gentrify the coast.
Beyond?
The waters turn black. Coal City in the shadow of San Martin. A boom town. Back when coal extracted from countless shafts near the city was needed to power Revachol. No more. The coal was supplanted by petroleum from the ocean floor and hydropower from the Esperance. Everything crumbled. These days, only the weakest remain in Coal City. Their hopes of getting rich linger in the defunct shafts under their feet.
What is there?
Below the old mines, L'Océan Municipal, Revachol's underground cemetery. Le Petit Rat braved the underground passageways. Le Royaume,
Le Royaume?
where the Philippian kings were interred, with their doctors and their admirals. Mausoleums, burial chambers, leaf gold still remains on the double door of the morning.
Rats?
Children under 14, they go underground looking for artifacts to sell to foreign museums. And for fabled relics. Their parents let them. They go deeper.
Deeper.
After rubies, Melchiorite,
Balrog.
lapis lazuli, plundered from Safle and Seol during the time of the suzerain. In the burial chambers of the kings, Grand Old Philip, Guillaume II, and even in the mausoleum of Philip the Opulent. 2 kilometers underground, in a winding shaft along whose walls mirrors have been placed, so that daylight may eternally fall upon the richest of all the kings. The mausoleum contains untold quantities of gold, and that special, purest of the pure magenta cocaine, favored by Revacholian royalty. How can it be pure if it's magenta?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. How can it be?
Snow falls, and there is no answer. Some things are not for mortals to know.
Wipe the snow from your shoulder.
Few Petira return from the shafts. Even fewer find what they're looking for. A small child steps out of the black tunnel with silver trinkets in her pockets. All around her, white snow on the extinguished coke furnaces and on the weather-worn shacks where fathers beat their sons after drinking. The snow melts on your fingers, turning to water.
The east?
The canal you crossed to get here and beyond it. Martinez proper, the district the police forgot to police. There is laughter, lights, attempts at entrepreneurial activity, cynicism. Someone is scraping snow off their windshield at the roundabout, in the midst of which a statue of Philip III serves as a destination for grade school field trips and a fine perch for winter birds.
That's all?
Like all monuments, it's also a warning. 6-story ruins on the south side of the roundabout cast a long shadow over the profligate king.
Further?
A fenced-off yard. There's a truck belonging to a logistics company parked next to the gate. Bright light from a building behind the fence reflects off its hood. Clean white light coming from the windows of a clean cube-shaped office building hidden amidst ruins. A secret.
North?
The abandoned church, its walls covered with hoarfrost now. One of Lisette's sœurs. The other 6 sisters were destroyed during the revolution. A serpentine strip of land weaving its way into the Martinez Inlet. Unfortunates on the run from the law, from themselves, sometimes hide out on nearby islets. Little dots in the ocean that are occasionally submerged when the tide is high and the weather foul.
And on the islets?
The remains of a camp on a jagged piece of rock, a tent, old dishes and cutlery, long since abandoned. A hermit crab scuttles among the debris, looking for a new shell. Further out, the lights burn bright on Resurrection. Way beyond Martinez, a popular spa destination for ample-bodied Ozon kids with equally ample pockets.
On the other side?
Then there's Ozon, but the snow falls too thick. You cannot see that far.
Before the curtains are drawn?
The Bay of Revachol. Vastness, great depth, over 1,200 meters at its deepest. Water, air-brinier than here. It is crisscrossed by huge cargo ships bearing company logos. Wild pines, Zam, Mauryan, and at the farthest reaches of the Bay of Revachol, the shadow of the coalition warship Archer, on perpetual patrol duty, ready to unleash artillery fire if you were to rise up against the market. You shudder.
The south?
The raised motorway, 881, separating Martinez from Jamrock. Vehicles whoosh past one another day and night, while those who reside in the labyrinthine alleyways beneath the motorway attempt to carry on with their lives in the snow and the slush. And south of the 881 is the Pox. Was once a park, a place for reflection and recuperation for the patients of the old military hospital. In the 20s, it was used as a quarantine center during a measles outbreak that killed many children. Most everyone has avoided the hospital and surrounding park ever since. The Pox is completely wild now. Evergreen thickets covered in snow and industrial dust. Feral dogs and even wolves roaming in packs. The police try to keep the deepest corners cordoned off. Heavy drug users do slip through and hole up in the old military hospital, hoping to find something to get high on among the hastily abandoned supplies, or just to overdose in peace. A line of motor garages with armored carapaces hunched in the cold. A mechanic is hard at work, patching up bullet holes in the side of a Capri 40. These are the garages of Precinct 41. Snow settles on the roof of the repurposed silk mill. It serves as your station. Shivering RCM personnel hurry in and out of the main entrance. Around you, the snow continues to fall. To the west, the ocean swells.
No, it was home. I want more.
The stairs descend to Central Jamrock. A man named Cooklove has a snow-covered stall there in the market across the bridge. He sells kebab infested with fly larvae to your colleagues who believe eating it will make them immune to food poisoning.
Ew.
Snow falls on the utility district, the library, the florist, the Sarah Mauritian restaurant that offers homemade wine, and also on the brothels and drug dens, and the chop shops of the Zemlyaki. All of this built around a lake that formed in a meteorite strike. At the center of this lake, there is a little ship. There are lights at the bottom of its hull. They are lights directed toward the seafloor, looking for something, like whiskers. A chill comes over you, crawling down your back. The sand under your feet is wet. Somewhere in the south, tarpaulin flap in the wind.
Where is Ruby?
Near, snow falls into dark water. She prays, though she doesn't believe. There is a hum in the air. That's all.
What's below me?
Layer upon layer of sand, poisoned with industrial runoff. The storm drainage, hidden bunkers. Rats scuttle.
Tell me a secret of the sands.
Someone stuffed a big old polar anorak into a concrete pipe under the boardwalk. It would keep you warm. You would probably never happen across it. But who knows?
Alright.
We should keep moving. Who knows when the snow will let up.
I love those moments, where you get like the shivers and it tells you what's going on all across the city. And it makes me wonder if it's specifically what's happening now. Is he actually sensing and feeling it? Or is it just one of those like artistic expressions, where he's like, these are the kind of things that do happen. But how do I get into the sewer pipe then? Like, there's no option to interact with it. There's no thought bubble that pops up when we come near it. But yeah, I don't know how we do this now. Let's have a look at the journal. What do we need to do next? Gotta climb the ladder or find another way in. I mean, he told us there's a way in the sewer pipe, but it hasn't given us anything.
Hello again.
Let's just redo the conversation. Alternative way into the building.
Alternative? I don't even have a mainstream way in, I'm afraid, although there's a sewage pipe there. Maybe that does something? Sorry, I can't help more.
He must be talking about that. You'd think so. Yeah, nothing triggers when I come near it. Nothing around here. I mean, unless it's talking about a sewer pipe somewhere much further away and we've got to make our way through.
There's no way the perp is in here, officer. Look how scarred the boards are. All attempts to pry them off have failed.
You think she's in there, Kim?
The suspect? God, I hope not. I can't see a way in, though many have tried.
Can I try to get in though?
Not this time. The opposition is insurmountable, but I like the spirit. Have some points. It's lonely and cold without points. And dangerous. Dangerous too.
Yeah. So where would this sewage pipe be? Yeah, I thought it was this. And with all this runoff coming out, you'd think definitely that's where it would be.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves. What more do you want to know? Yes, let's.
Alright. I have no idea how we move on unless we get a level up. And I can put it into... Which one was it? This one's Savior Fair. It'd have to go into something that helps us climb. And then we can retry the check. Or there's something else I'm totally missing. I have no idea. Anyway, guys, we blew right past the break point. So I'm going to take a 10-minute break here because I need to get up and stretch. Hi, guys. Welcome back. Okay, so let's see where we are. I have no idea how to get into this pipe. But the only other thing we could potentially do... Oh, I haven't unmuted the game. There we go. Hey, Alchemist! What if I don't want to be back? What if I was enjoying the highlight reel? Well, you're back. You can always just, you know, go back a little bit on the VOD, rewatch the highlights. How's it going, dude? Good to see you. Why is my icon all screwed up? You see how it's like a hand now? What the hell is this? Why is the... There we go, that got rid of it. That was weird. Sinuses are kicking your ass today? Ew. Sorry to hear that, dude. Is that like just hay fever kicking in, or for any specific reason? This is the pipe, but I can't interact with it, even though we've talked to this guy and he's told us about it. Hell, if you know, oh, it's just playing up then. Ugh. Hopefully, you're not coming down with something. Do look after yourself, won't you? Nowhere else we can go, so this must be the pipe. If you are, you guess you'll just die. Nope, you're not allowed to die. That is, you are not allowed to do that. Well then, I guess we're just gonna have to try and get some more skill points. Put one back into the, unless we can retry it. I never actually looked. Can we retry the skill test, or is it locked?
The rusty ladder leads to the rooftop.
It's Savior Fair. Teleport to the roof. I mean, I guess that just leads to him climbing the roof properly. Okay, well... Well, there is one thing we can do to maybe get some skill points quick. Because I also don't know how to do the whole thing with the music punks, to borrow their speakers. Which way do we go? This way. You know, and then take them into the church and help the programming lady track down the hole in the world that she's identified. The 2mm hole in the world in which all sound is disappearing. So I don't know how to do that. I feel like it's got something to do with the egghead puzzle. Like how we have to figure out how to talk to that guy and sync our signs with the other guy as well. With, what's his name? Noid? Something like that. And then we're good with them and we can probably get all the stuff. Gotta roll a 12 or higher on acrobatics. Dude, I've only got 2d6. Whoa. I mean, with skill modifiers as well, you can get more than a 12, but damn, that's a double 6 roll. Alright. But one of the things we did get was a dice.
Yes?
No, I'm not trying to talk to you, Kim. You're in the way. There we go. Let's pray to the click click math rocks god then, yes. Click clack, sorry. Gotta pray to the god of dice, Noffle. Good old Noffle. Put the torch away. Just shining a torch in this woman's eyes. I'll get my gun out again instead. Give me the dice.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
I came to pick up my die. The chaos one or whatever the hell it was.
Very good. That will be 7 real for 1 custom die.
Oh, the cursed dice, yes.
Here's the cursed die you ordered.
You don't need to say it so creepily. Read the phrases.
The phrases read, God is indifferent. Take all. Lose all. 50-50. Nothing happens. And pale.
What is this?
It's a die. Try rolling it.
Okay. Roll the cursed die.
You throw the ball on the floor, and it ends with one of the phrases facing upwards. God is indifferent.
Good. Now roll again, detective.
Okay.
It lands on exactly the same result. God is indifferent. It declares again.
It's a sphere pretending to be a 6-sided die. Each row will end with one of the phrases facing up. The die originates in Ilmara, where it was used for cleromancy. Except I've weighted the die. When you try rolling it, you realize that each time it gets you exactly the same result. God is indifferent. This is our curse.
Wow, this is a philosophical dice. Fucking hell.
It's even worse than she says. God is dead.
All right,
We
Nietzsche.
live in a forsaken age.
You're saying that in the end results don't matter?
In the face of death? No, not really.
What a relief.
It is, isn't it? There's something liberating about knowing it's just we humans. No all-powerful force is guiding us, watching us, judging us.
All right. So I'll keep that in mind. Thanks for the die.
Good luck, officer.
I have my cursed die. Cool. I'm glad I picked that. That is really awesome. Flashlight again. So you see, no matter how hard I pray to the gods there, alchemist, apparently gods are indifferent. So, yeah.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red. It's guarding over the freezing corpse hidden inside its belly.
One last look at the body.
Your arms reach out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, slippery flesh, first with your fingertips, then under the palm of your hand.
Gods are selfish pricks most of the time anyway, that's true. Alright, here we go. One last look at the body.
His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a spider, your hand crawls over his features. Everything is silent.
Put the fingers in the mouth. Do it.
The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop. You're on the right track.
Play with it. No, look.
A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your naked hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from the throat, and there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate, you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened. An abrasion collar. This is what we're after.
This is it.
Keep going.
Touch it with the fingers.
A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound. Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
Not gonna think about it, just, feel around a bit.
The basal ganglia feels clumpy. The bullet has torn apart his reptilian complex. This man will never sleep again. Never wake.
Deeper.
Your fingers slide into the remains of his limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres.
Alright, the cavities here cut between the hemispheres.
The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Push deeper.
Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow.
Alright, wriggle in.
Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper until you feel it on the tip of your finger. Sharp, serrated material. The edges cut right into your skin. This must be the bullet.
58% chance on an easy interfacing test. Pull it out. Yo!
You pick the sharp metal bullet between your index and middle finger. With your face twisting from pain and concentration, all you need to do is just...
Slowly pull the fingers out.
The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth, covered in blood up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower, a blossom made of lead.
A bullet.
Alright, we've got it.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-caliber. Rifled. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact.
Yeah, you can keep it. It's a gift.
No, you deserve it. We can log it later. We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion color. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
Sounds correct.
Opinion, fatal injury.
So this does concur with Hardy Boys and Classia's story.
And one last thing. We should amend injury number 3, ligament mark. Treatment. It's obvious the Hardy Boys tampered with it.
Yeah, we should have known.
I had my doubts. There were no signs of a struggle on his hands. No claw marks on his neck. But still.
His brow furrows while his eyes glaze over. The lieutenant looks regretful for not figuring this out before.
Whereas I did. I was like, no. This guy didn't even try to claw at his own thing, but his hands weren't bound. I mean, come on. He was unconscious or already dead when they strung him up. Maybe the bullet holds more answers.
Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
Need to wash.
Oh, you really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening.
I don't have that room anymore. What happens next?
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day.
And what should I do in the meantime?
Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this. I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective.
Do we want to work alone for the rest of it? I feel like we're getting close to the end. And we don't really have a lot more to do. Let's leave that for now, and let's examine the bullet.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found. Beside his orderly handwriting, the bullet looks especially sad, like a tiny, shriveled head of cauliflower.
What do I do with you, bullet?
What?
I said, what do I do with you, bullet?
Well, if I was the bullet, which I'm not, I would say find the weapon that shot me.
Good idea.
If we find who owns it, we will have likely found who used it, possibly to kill our victim. In conclusion, the more we know about this bullet of yours, the better.
Feel the bullet.
The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag. You wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle, usually in a cartridge.
Inspect it closer.
The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
That's what I was wondering. What's the caliber? This could be a custom lightweight rifle caliber. Look at the jacket.
You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels standard.
And the core?
It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound.
What can you say about the bullet so far?
That's a jacketed bullet close to 5 mm in diameter.
A jacketed bullet. Okay. It would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzleloader. like those typically found on the streets of Martinez.
Highly unusual. The people of Revachol haven't carried breech-loading weapons like this for nearly half a century.
Even the RCM uses ordinary injected conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer. Strange means unique. Unique means incriminating. We need to find a gun that shot it.
Something tells you that won't be anytime soon. This'll have to be one of those epic tasks that's open for a while.
Yeah. Try to determine what kind of weapon shot it. 83% or higher? I mean, we've got the similar rifle on hand. I mean, even though the one we've got is inactive, when you think about it, anybody who knows their way around a gun could have cleaned it out, put it back to use. They're only inactive because they're seized up. You know, they're full of dust and grime and rust and so on. But anybody could have tried to restore one of these rifles and use it. So we're aware of the name of an antique rifle we've found. Encyclopedia said this came from a breech loader. We've got the cursed die. That gives us a +1? Is that going to happen for everything? Oh my god. I should have got this dice at the beginning of the game. Alright, let's try this. Come on, 666.
A rifle, revolutionary period.
6.5.
Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46mm from the surplus left over from the turn of the century. Probably an antique or a retrofitted antique.
The make.
The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle, a Revacholian manufacturer. The BM dominated the battlefields of the Insulindian theater of the anti-centennial revolution 50 years ago. Incidentally, you have just such a rifle with you, the dusty old thing you found hidden in the basement below the commercial area. It's unusable, sadly. If it were, the bullet would probably fit the chamber.
Anyone still making them?
No, but Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war. So there are still a lot of these old military rifles floating around, usually broken. The quality was appalling.
So who uses the Belmargrave rifle these days?
Antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking for the same thing you found in that hidden weapons cache, only in working order.
What are you thinking? Bullet?
I can know what it came from.
Okay. And?
Probably came from a Belmargrave rifle.
An antique. That makes sense. There can't be many breech-loading rifles floating around in Martinez, or anywhere in Revachol, really.
Why not?
Sure, there's some arms trafficking, but the laws prohibiting the use of breech loaders we inherited from the monarchy have been effective, from what I've seen. Some new RCM recruits get impatient with their muzzle loaders once they've trained with military-grade weapons, but they realize it's worth it in the end.
Prohibiting peacetime law enforcement to front-loaded rifles is a policy enforced by the Moralist International in all the nations of the Real Belt.
I wonder if that's because they're slower to load. I mean, we're talking about old, musket and flintlock style technology, right? Where you put the bullet in through the barrel, as opposed to like a breech or a magazine, which are quicker to load. So that must be to limit everything to a one-shot system and have it be slower to reload. So we should have more powerful guns. We are the law. Oh, it makes you consider every shot. I like it.
Imagine if everyone, cops, citizens, had access to firearms that could shoot multiple rounds without pausing to reload. After the first shot, the second, third, and so on come much easier. But back to the investigation.
So an antique enthusiast or mixed up with foreign guerrilla fighters. Well-armed jamrock bangers crossing into Martinez. I mean, this woman supposedly works with them. Like the mobs over there that deal drugs. but foreign guerrilla fighters makes me wonder, you know, because these dudes, the mercenaries, they're in town, and this guy was one of them, but makes you wonder if this was an inside job.
Let's find out. Next step, finding the gun itself.
Alright, the bullet has nothing more to say. Damn, I was hoping we might get a full XP from that. Wash the smell of death off. There's a bathtub in the room in the whirling in rags. Wonder if it'll let me in because it's not yet... where is it? How do I get out of here this way? Yeah, we found this rifle in there. In that little cubby hole. But yeah, I wonder if it'll let me in because it's not yet past 9 PM. He said the door locks at 9 PM every night. Unless we pay him. But does he unlock it the next day? That's a question we're going to find out right now. I don't need my flashlight anymore either. That is, let's switch back to the bag for now until we're ready to go into the building that we need to go in. Yes. But I can't use it? Out of curiosity. Can't use this on there either, the crowbar. What about the stronger one? Nope.